Hello, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to an episode of R.C.W Top 10. Here we are. We're going to be counting down this week. We're going to be counting down the top 10, I guess, fantasy matches that are near unpredictable. Now, for this one, again, remember, it's completely opinionated, and eventually, we're trying to do as many more opinionated lists that can be done, a lot easier. We're trying to put out entertaining ones every now and again, but also remember, we're going to be trying to put out redos of lists, such as like top 10 CW, top 10 World Heavyweight, because since then it's changed, although we will try to hold those off as long as possible to make things a little more interesting and worth seeing. Anyway, so basically, these matches are matches that either didn't happen or didn't happen with a certain stipulation that could have made them a million times easier. Now, this does not have a limit to how many people it can involve. I think the highest one on this list involves 6. Anyway, also, make sure in the comments leave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, and your prediction according to the match. And also feel free to leave your own list because this is 100% opinionated. So let's get to number 10. Coming in at number 10 is Candy versus Sport. Two divas that really have similar styles with wrestling, but they're also, two divas that really worked with the Divas competition, made it decently moderate in the, actual non-Divas competition, but nothing extraordinary so far, with a couple highlights such as, Royal Rumble and Cruiserweights and stuff like that. But both are exceptionally talented, and I feel like if Sport came back, she could probably accomplish something, and Candy still has an entire career ahead of her with N1Cs and whatnot. So, honestly, between these two divas, I don't know personally who would win. I feel like Candy could pull off a win here, but Sport also has a strategy that could be rusty now, so that could be a bit of bias. But anyway, my prediction for this match is Candy. Coming in at number 10 is Candy versus Sport for the Divas Championship. Coming in at number 9 is actually a triple threat for the United States Championship between Viper, Mattis, and Dean. Like I said, these matches are all pretty well unpredictable anyway, but this one really depends on the friendships inside. Now, Mattis has a moderate friendship with Dean, a moderate friendship with Viper. I feel like they can all get along, but the friendship between Dean and Viper is already there, so I feel as though it would really come down to Dean versus Viper if any teaming were to ensue, which would probably make Dean win because Viper has talent, but Dean has usually come out on top over Viper RKO 101 in United States title matches. So for those reasons, and only if those reasons occur, I'm going to predict Dean would win in a triple threat for the United States Championship. Viper, Mattis, and Dean for the United States title. Coming in at number 8 is another Divas competition. This one is Brooke versus Racunia. Now, I don't even know if this match has happened, period. But I say this one for the Divas title because there are two divas that really broke the barriers of being a diva to win world championships, to get shots at minor championships, and in Brooke's case, win minor championships, as well as many, many other things. Now, in general accomplishments, that goes to Brooke, but these two have never squared off, so it's hard to say who won the most or who would win generically. I apologize for that message sound. Anyway, in my personal opinion, and no bias ensue, I would honestly say Brooke would win because Racunia, I don't know how much she's wrestled and how recently, but I don't know. Honestly, it'd be a good match, but I'm going to say Brooke, and in a match between Brooke and Racunia for the Divas Championship at number 8. Coming in at number 7 is Flakuchu 8 versus Mam Mam Hockey 2020. Now, it's undeniable that these two are some of the best that NXT has ever produced to become world champions, with Flakuchu winning the World Heavyweight and Mam Mam winning the World Heavyweight. Flakuchu also managed to get his hands on the Cruiserweight a couple of times, won the Intercontinental, and is the longest reigning tag team champion. Mam Mam has won a couple of Europeans. He's gotten his fair share of main events. So all in all, these two are quite equal. And then they've also had their own ups and downs to their career. One where they're extremely talented, and other ones where they can't seem to get a grasp on a match, but get close. So honestly, because them both, I don't know, have had their ups and downs in careers, fairly similar accomplishments, came from NXT at the same era, but never truly fought, these two for the NXT title. Now honestly, I think Flakuchu broke a lot of barriers, but honestly, if it came down to pure match, I would have to say, in this case, Mam Mam probably would win this match, but it would definitely be one of the best matches you'll ever watch between Flakuchu and Mam Mam, and if Flakuchu ever wants to return, you know, if you're watching this, Flakuchu, we could still have that match go on. So that's Flakuchu versus Mam, with my prediction being Mam for the NXT title coming in at number 7. Coming in at number 6 is Warriors versus DX in a 3-on-3 competition. Now, this is no other incarnation into DX as opposed to the first one between the early and beginning WrestleMania season to just post Extreme Rules. Now, that particular combination with that particular set of skills and that particular amount of teamwork with Eddie, King, and Waffle taking on the original 3 Warriors of Flakuchu, Kendall, and Y3. Both teams work exceptionally well as teammates, have exceptionally talented members on both sides. And all in all, to see these 3 fight off in their best forms as their best working teammates would be quite fun to watch. So it's a 3-on-3 between Eddie, King, Creative, and Waffle taking on the original 3 Warriors, Kendall, Y3, and Flakuchu. Now, who do I think would win? That really depends. See, a lot of that is Waffle is kind of rusty nowadays. Creative is better than ever. And Eddie is also quite up there. And Kendall has been getting better. Y3 has been getting better. And Flakuchu's a bit on the rusty side. Now, if this was back then, I have zero clue because they were different eras. But if this was now for the sole purpose that Waffle occasionally fights, I'd probably have to say DX, but it would be a good match. And the only questionable card is Flakuchu. But if Flakuchu still has it in him, then Warriors definitely could. But for current sakes, I'm going to say DX, but it'd be a good match. So it's Warriors versus DX in a 3-on-3. Coming in at number 5 is Flames Dude 44 versus Agent. Now, there's a lot of controversy sparked around who the best Intercontinental Champion is. Well, Hungry was the longest champion, yeah, but Kendall's now the longest reigning champion. Well, Agent won the most amount of defenses. Well, Flames was the first champion. And New Man's the current champion. So much debate, but I think we can all agree that there's 2 particular people who made the title more famous than generally anybody, and that is Agent Cool the Best with his insane amount of defenses in his reign, and Flames Dude 44, the innovator of the Intercontinental title in the beginning. Now, it's no doubt to say that the Intercontinental title had a lot of prestige back in the day, then lost a lot of prestige as it went on switching hands quite frequently and kind of meaninglessly, and then Agent won it and defended it against so many different people, so many different times. And so, really to say who made the title more famous, who's more talented, who would win in this match, they're both talented competitors, but if I had to say they went one-on-one, in current day, I'd have to say it would go to Agent, but Flames would put up a hell of a fight. And this match would be for the Intercontinental Championship. That's Agent versus Flames coming in at number 5. Coming in at number 4 is a match between the Legends and the Legends. Now, for those of you that don't know much about 2013 and early 2014, you won't have a clue what I said or why I said it. Now, initially, the very first incarnation of the Legends was with Afraid Hacker, myself, and Ranger 92. Now, these 2 were able to dominate most of the hardcore title matches that they were in with only the 3 people that they had. Mind you, that shows had about 10 to 15 people at an absolute max, but nevertheless. Now, they also had a rival between the Ghosts, which was Flames Dude 44, Ethan, Viper, and Spency, and although outnumbered, most of the time the Legends came out on top and are remembered in history a lot more than the Ghosts are. Now, the other incarnation of Legends was originally 3 members of Afraid Hacker, Gleerax, which was Rad Randy Undertaker, and Flame. And then eventually they took a main member of the corporation, Brooksy, and teamed her with it. Now, if this match was to happen, I would make the requisition that the actual match be Ranger, Afraid, and Kids versus Gleerax, Flame, and Brooke, as Afraid Hacker was actually in both of the teams. Now, if this match were to happen, I think that that Jobber Flame, Jobber Gleerax, and Jobber Brooke would all lose because they all suck, and I'm the best. Anyone can suck my dick. Alright, but if that match was to happen, I think it really depends on how good Ranger is, because all 3 of the other Legends that aren't my own were extremely talented at pretty much all times. Now, Ranger was a little iffy during the time, but he's gotten better since. If that match were to happen nowadays, I feel like the other Legends that aren't my own could win, but it would be a good match because I have no clue what Afraid Hacker is doing right now. So, good match, Legends versus Legends, 3-on-3. Coming in at number 3 for the Raw WWE Championship is two of Raw WWE's main stars out there. Now, it is debatable that you could throw Ness in there somehow, maybe make it a triple threat. But for this particular one, I'm going to basically say Flame 321 versus Glerax. Two of the stars from Raw WWE that made it on to be some of the biggest stars in R.C.W. Now, these two are some of the most talented as well to come from Raw WWE. There's also a lot of accomplished people such as Ethan, Ness, with big accomplishments. But these two are what I would count as fighting for the title that originated in Raw WWE. Who do I think would win? I honestly think nowadays that since Glerax is a little more in touch with it, I think that Glerax would pull the win, but it would be a good match between Glerax and Flame for the Raw WWE Championship. Coming in at number 3. Coming in at number 2 is one other match that was supposed to happen but never did, was Hungry versus Kids for the R.C.W. Championship. Now, I think if anybody was active around March of 2014, it comes to much knowledge that Viper versus Dean, or Beast, or Rock at the time, was actually supposed to be stopped intentionally by the chairman, only to be called out by the board of directors member and forced into a triple threat at WrestleMania, in which Kids was successful. But if this match hadn't happened, and the one person that we were initially expecting to be in the match hadn't quit or done what he had done, which we all know what that was, and he's going to deny that, but I don't really care. It is Hungry versus Kids at WrestleMania 1 for the RCW Championship. I say that specifically because it was supposed to be a specific match. Now, honestly, I can't honestly say that I would have won that match, but I think at the time I had more grasped the concept onto Hungry's strategy, and I would be using that particular time for this match because that was when it was supposed to happen and not just some random time. But honestly, I think I could have won that match, but it would have been a really good match to watch. I can't wait to see the comments that are going to be on the wall and on this video. So yeah, just watch out for those. Those are going to be pretty fun. Anyway, that is as Kids versus Hungry for the RCW Championship at WrestleMania 1, coming in at number 2. Coming in at number 1 is Eddie Armour versus Hungry Sniper Fish, Frayed Master 54, whatever. Coming in at number 1. Now, if these two were to fight, it's really hard to say where the fan support would be, where the match would lie. And these two do fight a lot in training, but not a lot of people watch because not a lot of people care. I say that because he's in the thing right here. Right over there. You can see him. Yeah, I'll just wave to him real quick. Anyway, so, but seriously though, it's hard to say because they're both hated at times, but then also both cheered at times, and it really depends on what day, what, how, what not. Now, if the match were to happen now, I don't honestly have a real prediction to this match, so I could just say Eddie because I watch him more, I fought him more, and as of late, I've been able to beat Hungry a lot easier than any time ever, but that could be my own thing, but it would be a good match and something worth watching. However, in RCW, it's pretty well never, ever happening. So, I guess that'll be number 1 for quite a while. I'm Tyler Breeze, so, yeah. And thank you, R.C.W. Universe, for checking out this episode of R.C.W. Top 10. I hope you found this opinionated as hell. Apparently, I run really fast. I'm just going out of the green screen. Look at that booty. We're going to go downstairs. This is... Oh. Hi, I'm Kid. Alright, so we're going to go into Brooke's office and we're going to do the really nasty stuff. So, yeah. How do you spell Pornhub again? No, I'll look it up on her tablet. She probably has a lot saved. Whatever. Alright, so thank you guys checking out this. Oh god, look at this Jobber Squad. Oh, I think I'm going to puke. Oh my god. Can't even enter my own office. Oh my god, I remember when I kicked his ass in that match. Anyway, I'm KidsRock4, and I'm approving this message by watching a lot of Pornhub. A lot. Like, there's a ridiculous amount of stuff saved. So, yeah, I'm approving this message, Eddie's approving this message, and Candy's approving this message.